stretches out
Bam!
and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove.
It wasn't even hard.
It's right under the palm of your hand.
Took me like 5 spins. What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features.
Put your fingers. I think it's in his mouth. I got
all
that
around.
Weird hint when I was in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
Play with it. This feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity.
No, don't just
Can
play
you
with
feel
the tongue.
You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius. The edges appear darkened.
Say fuck yeah.
Keep going.
Touch it with your finger.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put your finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Feel around.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
Push deeper.
Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The undulations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
There's a cavity cut right between the
The
hemispheres.
lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Okay, I can punch a hole through his mouth or wriggle in. I'm gonna wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
Inspect the skull.
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it from the inside.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Okay. Don't fuck me. 83% chance I'm gonna be furious. I got 2 1s. I'm gonna have to redo this whole
Push
thing.
your hand further in.
Oh.
Whatever is in there keeps rolling between your fingers as you beckon it to come out.
Fucking
Out
shit.
comes his small folding
Okay,
knife.
he can
the
do it.
lieutenant moves its
got
blade
2
across the
1s.
man's skull, searching for the exit wound.
There.
Withdraw your hand 4 centimeters, please.
Pull your hands back.
With a crack, he punches the knife in the skull. Then, one more time, and one more, until the bone comes loose, like eggshell. Inside, you feel the jelly move from his poking.
Okay.
Can you push it out?
A
Push.
small flower of metal blossoms from the man's head, followed by your yellow finger.
A bullet. A non-calibre. Rifled. You may remove your hand from the victim's head now, officer. Well done. Here's your prize.
Okay, we got evidence. This is the first thing I've had marked as evidence. Fractured bullet. Maybe that is like means I found a really important thing. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Agreed.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
The ligament mark was fractured. Hyoid bone. It was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
You think
I
so?
did not just come up with this. I have had my doubts since we found no signs of struggle on his wrist. No claw marks on his neck. Why? Why didn't he fight for his life? There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks.
Okay.
Almost.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here.
I think I need to wash myself.
You really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Maybe the bullet has more answers?
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Okay, what happened next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
Okay, you'll be gone. What should I do in the
Work
meantime?
on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Thank
The
you.
word lingers in the air of the basement. Detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning.
Okay.
You can do side tasks, and even the main...
I'm not going to let him bag the corpse yet because I want those boots. Okay. Well, we have, like, dates now. Map. Okay. Mirror. Blah, blah. Tasks. Okay. We're doing good. Let's go. We need to talk to the Union boss and the Wild Pines rep. That's what we were doing. I got a bottle of speed. We're not doing that. We have a bullet. Let's look at this bullet.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
Okay. What do I do with you, bullet?
What?
I said, what do I do with you, bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag.
Inspect the bullet.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the
You
jacket.
can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core.
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
We were right. This came from a serious weapon.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
I'm goated with this. Do I dare kick myself in the dick?
A rifle, revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer, The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area.
Okay.
It's unusable,
So
sadly.
in that...
If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Okay, so it's one of the rifles that I found in the secret stash?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Bell McGraw rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this came from.
Okay. And?
The shot probably came from a Bell McGrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Makes you consider every shot. I like it.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Could the victim have been mixed up with some... Or we're looking for an antiques enthusiast?
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll
Okay.
check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
Okay. I feel like I did some real cop shit that time. We're good. We're in the right area. Okay. Let's go. We have to go interview the Pines rep and the union leader. That's first thing to do on the docket, because I don't want to talk to those new union workers that showed up that look like they're the muscle without having a good scope of the strike. I need to understand what's going on before they go make me look like an idiot. And they seem like the type to do that. Who's this? Hello? A good one, I'll say.
Yes? Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
Okay.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much.
What are you doing
Looking
today?
for something to read.
Good, good.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Everyone can see that. The rectangles.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
This citizen thinks she can do without your assistance. Don't buy it. They
No, I'll
the
leave.
woman.
I'll leave. The book says you must attain a Franconigerian hard body at the nearest gym. Okay. To roundabout north. To the pier. Fuck, I really should have I'm so tilted about these. It's fine. We have to go to the pier to find the lady. I haven't seen this place during the day. It's a lot more shitty somehow. Oh no, okay, no, she's here. I thought the Pines rep had moved. Docking reserved for the residents of 33A. Your whirling in rags isn't much bigger than the shop. Alright, your whirling...
A
Your
striking woman leans
fine.
against the cabin top of her sailing boat.
Good morning, officers. I'm Joyce.
Hello, Joyce.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Shake her
I'm
hand.
glad to see you here.
Her grip is cold and tight.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual.
Okay,
But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
let's go, Kim.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's
Okay.
hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
Okay, you're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Okay. Understood about this boat of yours.
She nods attentively.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
Okay.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay.
A breeze ripples through the sails and tugs at your hair. Below, the sleek, fish-like shape of the hull parts the water. Beneath that, a resounding darkness. You're reminded of something. Or someone.
Cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cor de Leyte 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cor de Leyte, and its hull is 19 paces long.
Okay. How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
I just like that name for some reason.
Well, it means nothing to me. I
Okay.
think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
What kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Okay, so she used to race?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Yeah, I feel you.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Can I see your license?
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two insulindic regattas.
Still
Even
need a
finished
license,
ones.
ma'am.
Actually, you don't.
What do you mean?
The Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license. It's a little-known fact among those law officials.
Okay. Wait, exactly how little exactly how little known is this fact?
I was just being polite.
Okay.
Even school children know the Wayfarer Act.
Okay. Makes sense, I guess. I mean, look
No
at me.
need to resort to self-pity, detective. You can still ask for her passport.
Okay, 1 second. No need to resort to pity. Bubba,
You
sorry, I
need
got a
to
text from
save
Zach.
face if you want her respect. Demand that passport.
I'm gonna need to see your
Of course.
passport. I'm sorry, my brother just cut us out of Into the Woods, I believe. Look at her passport.
The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap against the hull. In your hand, under the plastic, a light blue passport saying, Republic of Vespa. The coat of arms has a lion and an ostrich. Seigent.
Look at the photo page.
The woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you. Face adorned with frown lines and crow's feet. The photo is recent. The name reads, Rejoice Leighton Messier.
Your name is Rejoice?
Yes. But please don't call me that.
Why?
Joyce is much more efficient.
She doesn't like it. Probably a bad memory. Mean girls at school or some ancient lover.
You're from Vespa?
My husband is. I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when traveling.
She nods and returns
Right.
the plastic bag to
Good.
Okay, we're gonna talk about something real now. Sorry, I got really distracted. My brother was texting about the Into the Woods. Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
Okay, so what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
She enjoys talking about the company. It would not hurt to inquire more.
How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
She nods.
What can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
But what if I want to hear the trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus, I will slay.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
Okay.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What's your role in this?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Tell me more about this behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay, then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Seems like they have no idea about business.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board.
What does that even mean?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, call me mañana.
This checks out.
Okay. The scab at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to?
Just in case you don't know, this might just be a trivia fact. A scab is a term for someone that offers to work for a company when people are on strike. Like, you know, the whole point of a strike is you're trying to force them to cooperate with you by not working. But then other people, it's, you know, it's how it works. Is like, if they want $15 an hour, that's never going to happen unless unless you can't find work for $10 an hour. If somebody's willing to work for 10, they're just going to say, go fuck yourself and hire the $10 an hour person. A scab is someone who comes to take the job of the person that's on strike, saying, oh, I'll do it under these conditions. Fuck those guys. It's a derogatory term that union people use towards the scabs.
If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
Okay. So you are in charge of the scabs. Tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
He can't be that bad.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of him?
Yes. Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
basically a socialist mob, to be honest.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Okay. Sorry.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares.
Okay.
Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help?
What can you tell me about the lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Okay.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves.
I
am
still don't know
Lieutenant
my
Kitsuragi
name.
from Precinct 57.
I need to figure out my name.
And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Okay, remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
Fuck, I tried to talk around it. It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life in the world.
Oh, dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional. but he is an officer of the RCM.
Bro, I want to kiss Kim on the mouth every time he stands up for me. This dude is so sick. He doesn't need to do me like this.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid
have
I
to
simply
find
can't
I
share
have to find
anything
my
more until I've seen
badge.
that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional
Ah.
negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
I'm goaded with the suggestion. Oh, isn't that what I've been working on? Yeah! It pays off. No double ones.
She's
I'll
a
kill myself.
negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
Yes, this is what I've been putting points into. Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials. Don't say show me your gun.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The
I have
Union
speed.
controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
I have speed.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Okay, excuse us for a moment.
Wow, you work hard.
I do?
Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Oh, yeah. Like a horse. A workhorse.
What hard
For
work?
hard work.
What hard work do I do exactly?
Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride.
I fucking ride till I die, bitch.
That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco Negros and the Solas. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer.
I took some money.
You didn't log that in as a donation either. You don't log any of that shit in. You're a straight rider.
Oh, and then there's the pawning of the stuff of the whatever. Shut up.
Yeah, you're in the...
I guess
sure,
I made some money.
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself, are you rich?
No.
That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that?
I don't know. Why am I so poor?
Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze.
Really? Every time I sneeze?
Every time you wipe your ass. They got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation.
Okay.
Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony. One tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff people in other countries. 98% of all your money.
No way. I guess I'm a free market fundamentalist now. This isn't helping me solve my my money problem. It's only making me a free market type. Do I want to be a free market fundamentalist? I don't think I want to be a free market fundamentalist. Is that because I'm an ultra liberal? Is that why this is happening? If the other options are moralist, communist, and fascist, I guess I'll be a free market fundamentalist. Sure, man. I guess I will. I don't think taxes are the problem, though. Whatever.
Here you go, hustler. Fight the righteous fight. Free the people. Keep it real. Keep it street. keep foaming at the mouth furiously on the tax issue.
Okay. All right, Kim, what do you want to talk about? Sorry, I just had a fucking breakdown.
Quite as I hoped it would.
How did you hope it would
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance and, not volunteer us to be her henchmen.
Oh, so we're henchmen
This
now.
woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
What do you propose, that we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
We could also just find my badge.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Let's get back to her then. That's fine. I didn't intend to make that trade with her. Oh, what is this? Shadows on the water, green plants under the calm surface. It is very pretty out
You're
here.
back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay, tell me about this alleged
It's
drug
quite
trafficking.
straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut. Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
What do you mean?
The lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable.
Don't make me go narc on my boy Tommy.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
You'll be indebted to her, in a way, but one step ahead of the Union in another.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct
That is
disagreement
true.
about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence that the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the trade committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge,
Ooh.
and the operation will continue.
So the Wild Pines company is the one that started the big jam, just so they would have a chance to find the drugs, or what?
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kitsuragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
Okay, what proof do you have that the Union's involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with the source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical
Tommy.
lorryman would confide in.
Okay, I've made up my
Yes?
mind. I will take the case.
Excellent. It may come to
Oh,
nothing,
sorry.
or it may just blow the case
At
wide
least 3
open.
lorry drivers.
I can keep the
Sorry,
drawbridge
one
up
second.
for a few more days at least.
Okay.
You should have the time you need.
This will be high on my list, but I have to go talk to the union guy and then the union people at the... This game's doing a really good job of making me make intelligent decisions with my time. Because I'm like, this whole day is so jam-packed and it's already almost noon. It may come to nothing or blah, blah, blah. According to my report, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout.
In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Okay. Do you think you know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Okay.
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this.
She wants to answer the question.
Okay.
Protocol keeps her from it.
You seem smart and I need a lowdown on reality.
This reality.
The aim is to gain a deeper understanding.
By learning more about the... I got a legendary success there. Jesus. By learning about the world, I hope to learn more about myself.
A sort of spiritual quest. Something of ancient Ilmaran origin.
Yes, the spirit quest sounds like the thing I'm on.
You will find him a big fan of the ancient ways. It's part of his condition.
Nothing wrong with ancient ways. Our modern ones aren't necessarily better.
Okay.
Ask away, officer. I'll help however I
I gotta
can.
level up. I guess I'll just keep putting points into suggestion.
Alright, we're in. I know these all
Okay.
look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Weird. Okay. Let's go. What is something about the cops?
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass.
Okay.
To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again.
Am I Tequila Sunset?
We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
The Revachol Citizens Militia?
Preciso mundo.
Good. And what is the RCM?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, detective.
Okay.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
You said de facto?
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
Basically, I'm a thrall to foreign interest. Basically, I'm one of the good guys.
There's nothing basic about your role, detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone, because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Ravacholians get to keep the peace in Ravachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
That's a hard one to get for. Where are we?
We're in Martinez.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover.
Aren't we all?
What is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock.
Okay.
You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
Okay. You mentioned a sea.
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Okay. Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know.
Listen,
It
I
is
don't
clear
actually care
this-
too much about this.
Revachol, the
I just
great
gotta click
As if it's self-
I just gotta fucking
history
click the
detective.
buttons. Okay.
The nation in the
Revachol,
Delors. They
blah,
say,
blah,
by
blah.
that I mean,
Blah,
we're
blah.
standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
Okay. We're an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to 22 kilometers from the center.
Silence,
come on.
the water, the light. There is no recognition.
Okay.
Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from
Okay, I'm
it.
gonna say nothing.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are...
Was there something
Okay.
else you...
This has been informative. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Might I suggest not asking them all right now?
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
trying. I know.
My
I'll
con-
It's
continue
better
later.
not.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
Okay. That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. Of course,
Okay, sorry. That took a second, and I skipped a little bit at the end. So we want to know about the murder weapon, get a reality lowdown, keep return later, the Jam's mystery. Yeah, I don't want to talk too long because there's a very real choice to be made, because if I ask every question, I would waste a lot of time. That conversation took like an hour. Okay, so we want to go talk to the lorries. We want to talk to the union boss. To talk to the union boss, we need to get through the fucking 8-foot Samoan guy. And to get through him, we have to fight him or become racist. Or we might be able to go through the Kuno shit shack to get into the union compound. Because there's a ladder there. Let's go talk to my boy Tommy. Tommy, you would tell me if you were smuggling drugs.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man.
Wait, let me save before I fucking narc on Tommy. Tommy, you would tell me. Don't do me like this, Tommy.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
You seem like a man who'd know about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Just be straight with him.
Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs in Terminal B.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Who do you think's doing it?
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
All right, Tommy. I'm sorry. There's the fucking Wendigo grandma over here. She might have answers. Who else? There's the neo-Nazi guy, which is probably the correct answer.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Double snap.
Where am I? Who are you?
Okay.
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the weary aspect of a cornered beast.
Are you all right, ma'am? You were out.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
Where else would you have been?
Back in Methka, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with the young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you came along, that is.
Who's Gabriel Bongadero?
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen. This man's got a hold over her. Even 50 years later, you can feel it.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all his lines.
So I take it you were in Mesk when you were young.
Someone was.
Someone? Are these not your memories?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
Okay, well, I have police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
What are you hauling?
Diamonds.
Diamonds, really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Well, what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't know what's in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
What if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's contraband, Lowman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Bad Hand? Hermenegildos's bad hand strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
Okay. You seem like you know about the drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel. The great adversary. No drugs can compare.
The adversary?
Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
I don't like the sound of any of that. Sounds like a horrible drug. The worst one of them all.
That's not really what I was getting at.
Then what were you getting at?
This line of questioning is going nowhere. Try harder.
Wanted to ask if you'd be interested in smuggling some drugs.
Why would I want to do that?
For the glory, for commerce, the lifeblood of the
Loman,
Isolas.
what in the name of God are you talking about?
Okay, let me put it this way. Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B?
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
You said earlier you don't know what cargo you're hauling. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramirizza to Grat on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramirizza to Grat, Lowman?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
It's diamonds, Lowman, obviously.
Damn this. Make her answer.
If you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. He's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
I didn't ask you about diamonds, did I? I don't care about that.
Diamonds are good for you, Lowman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras.
Are you making fun of me? You better start complying.
I would never make fun of a real lowman, Sheriff.
Ma'am, you're not responsible for what the client puts in your lorry, as long as the seals are not opened. We officers know that.
Lay off her.
Okay, if you're not involved with drug trafficking, why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
I think we're done here, no?
Okay.
Yes, go.
Did I get another fucking listen to some shit? Ugh. What? Temporary research bonus. Oh, is this while I'm researching this problem will happen? It's fine. Okay, well, I guess it's probably the neo-Nazi. We'll go take a look at him. Oh, we're still doing this. I forgot. I should cash in my bottles while I'm here.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
You're a lorryman, right? What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
Except the cigarette you're smoking. Why not?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
There's your in. Take his side in this particular fight.
Listen, I agree. It's our responsibility to keep the poison off the streets of Revachol.
He eyes you warily, unsure how to respond. This goes on for about 2 seconds. Then, damn, it didn't work.
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Then what are you still hanging around here for? Most of the other Kamenurs have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open on my way here. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his luck and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
Bad for him, I guess.
It's a fucking travesty is what it is.
If it's not you, then who's running the drugs through Terminal B?
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Who's that?
He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff he stole after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry.
Okay, where do I find him?
Just follow the smell. It smells like apricot and oil when you're nearby.
Yes, yes. Where is he?
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't miss him. Just watch yourselves. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, all right. 100%.
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what Sealang himself has to say.
Okay.
Yes, so?
We'll go talk to Sealang. We'll save here, though, because it's been another hour. Apparently I should have gotten buddy-buddy with the white nationalist guy. Oh, I love you.